There was some news today that maybe we should go over real quick, and then we will start the show. Lana, did you hear that Jack Smith is making some moves?
Yeah. Love to
Yeah.
hear it. Whenever that breaking news comes and you hear Jack Smith's name, you're like,
Yeah, there were some times we were hearing his name and we were like, oh, I mean, come on, man, what are you doing? Let's go. But today, special counsel Jack Smith filed a superseding indictment on Tuesday against former President Trump in his federal January 6th case. The slimmed down indictment comes after the conservative majority Supreme Court largely sided with Trump when it ruled in July that presidents have immunity for official acts. It reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holdings and remand instructions per the special counsel's office. The new indictment was presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in the case. So, basically, he is reshaping this case so that way, based on what the Supreme Court had said, he's going to say, all right, let's take out anything that can be misconstrued by what the Supreme Court said, and let's retry this case. So, and you'll never believe who ran to Truth Social and started whining and crying about it.
Oh, cool. I have no idea. Who did that?
Just like he whines and cries about everything. I was asking somebody, I mean, seriously, do you teach your children that this is like somebody that you want to look up to? Because the president of the United States, whether you like him or not, there's a lot of people that look up, children look up to the president. That's how it's always kind of historically been. There's been something about the president of the United States as you look at somebody that's a little bit more special, not that they are, but you know what I mean in that respect. And they are supposed to be the example of the entire country, whether you agree with their politics or not.
Correct.
And, now you have just this whiny, bitchy little baby who just absolutely cannot help himself from bitching, whining, crying. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so confusing how, I get MAGA, they have like another reasoning why they love him. But then on the flip side, aren't they just like, despite his racism and despite the bigotry, doesn't like that shit get on your nerves? Like, if he doesn't win, then everyone cheated against him. Like, if he commits a crime and he's held accountable, oh my God, he's the victim. Like, why is it everyone's picking on Trump? Like, what is that? And they're okay with that. Like you said, it's like, Kamala's afraid to debate me. It's like, excuse you, me? Like, what are you talking about?
It's completely insane. He is the one saying that the election was stolen. It went through fucking court case after court case after court case. I'd have to do that 60 plus times in order to say, all the court cases it went through. Every one of them were not even just thrown out of them. Some of them were laughed out of court. Correct. You literally had people in court like Rudy Giuliani sitting in court saying, I don't have anything here. We're just, I just hope that you rule in our favor.
I have a sinking suspicion.
Right. I have a suspicion. So I hope that you're able to rule on my suspicion. Meanwhile, there is literal audio of this guy calling the Georgia representative saying, find me 11,000 votes. That's all I need. You'll be a hero, basically telling him. But you know what? No, we're the crazy ones. They're the ones who were cheated, and we're the ones who are acting.
It's like he's covering so many bases right now. It's like he's covering the base to say they had the upper hand doing the debate because it was on ABC. Then he's like covering, about if he loses the election, he's got that base covered too, because now it's the 8 million illegals or whatever coming in because Biden's just letting them all in because they're all going to vote. Because, the elections aren't close, right? Like they're never close because all of the illegals. Okay. Like it's like he's covering every base so that if something goes wrong or not in his favor, he always has an excuse. And like you said, what do you call people who always have excuses? They're fucking punk bitches. Like,
They
go
really
sit
are.
down. Like, you can't even own up to anything. It's always an excuse. It's like, I don't know.
If you worked with this guy, he'd be the person that, like, if you all went out after work, you'd say, make sure that he does not come. Make sure, Lil Philosophy, I will get to your comments here in just a minute. But you know, he's that guy where you're just like, hey, you know, don't invite him because he's just so annoying. He's just a baby. He's a whiner. And, you know, after a while, and quite frankly, here is the deal. In the MAGA world, it still works for them.
Yeah.
But you can tell this country overall is tired of it. They are over it. They're done with it. You know, and forget about, you know, Republican, because they're not even Republicans. They're just so far away from being Republicans.
Right.
But they are just done with it. And they're just like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck. We just got to get rid of this guy. There are some like true Republicans who are saying, hey, you know, I hope he gets blown out so that way we can finally get rid of this fucking moron.
I mean, how are you a former president? You don't have the support of your vice president. You don't have support of anyone from your administration. You're running as a Republican. Not one former Republican president has come to say, I'm voting for he's my guy, to endorse you. Dead silence, radio silence. Like that right there tells it all. He can't even rehire anyone from his administration because
his own administration is endorsing Harris. They're not even saying we're not endorsing him. They're literally saying we're endorsing Kamala Harris because they know personally what a danger he is to this country. And, you know, I've said this before, actually. Donald Trump's not really a danger himself. Donald Trump's the danger because he could be elected and be used as the useful idiot that he is.
Right. That's it.
That's the dangerous part.
Right.